this match, and if we can see them, how it turns out.
Well, we've seen examples of that in last year's World Championship qualifiers. I believe it was the final qualifier where we've seen MCES with such creative attacks. And I think they have really stepped up their game as well over the previous months in community tournaments. They seem to just be continuing to expand the variety of attacks that they have. And maybe that's a conscious effort to build themselves up to this year's World Championships. I mean, I think this one's really difficult to predict, Itsu, and I can't wait for the action to start because both teams need to get off to a good start. We keep talking about that, but in this war especially, with two teams with that experience, they need a 3-star to put the pressure on.
That's right. So it's one of the hardest predictions. I feel like, if I remember correctly, I think Carbon Fin, I always go back to that prediction because I know that he's understanding what he's saying. So going back to Carbon Fin's prediction, I think he had MCS winning it all. So this is already telling you guys how good this team is. On the other side, we had a lot of people as well predicting Penta going a long way. So both of those teams are being, I don't know if I would say tournament favorites, but at least they're really, really high up there in the tournament rankings, in the team rankings. So let's see what is stronger. Zap Queen Charge Hybrid or Crazy Ideas with Bats. Both of them are for sure awesome to watch for us.
And it really shows the caliber of teams within this tournament. But it is Muffin of Penta starting us off. We have seen the Inferno Dragons a couple of times already, but he's actually going with an early Battle Blimp to try and snipe the Town Hall here, Itsu.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job of getting that town hall out of the way. Even though it looks like nothing has survived, there are some sneaky goblins working on that town hall nicely and taking that down. Meanwhile, we have already the first lightning coming down as well. And the lightning is just here to make sure the first sweeper is out of the way, because the sweeper is sometimes a really annoying thing where the Inferno Dragons are getting pushed to the outside. We saw it already earlier where the first Inferno Dragon attack nearly failed. And, well, with having the Inferno Dragons on the flank of the base, that's not where you want to have them. You want to have them as a wave in the core, and that's the main purpose. And he's nicely taking out this Lava Hound without having any problems. Perfect use of that poison.
Yeah, and I think it's very wise that he is taking his time. We have seen how quick the Inferno Dragon attack can be. So just luring the Clan Castle, making sure he doesn't have to deal with that, trying to be as predictable as possible. That is such a smart play by Muffin here of Penta. The Inferno Dragons have a pretty clear path into the center of the base. And as you mentioned, it's directly behind the sweeper, which we did see is so crucial for this strategy.
Yeah, and even the scatters. I feel like the scatters are the most important defense, which you need to take care of really quickly. Otherwise, they're just providing so much splash damage to the defense. And this is right now perfectly done with tanking everything with those skeleton spells. And you can see those skeletons are tanking one shot after each other off the scatter. And this one Inferno Dragon is finally finishing it. He has the Royal Champion at this bottom side, but the Inferno Tower is on his Royal Champ, so he needs to freeze it. I hope he sees this. And yep, there we go. Nice freeze. Royal Champ ability now to finish off the space. Queen is on the left side, still doing some work over there. Ooh. And now we have everything closing in on this Inferno, on this last Inferno Tower. And this should be the first 3-star in this match.
The troops are able to revenge his royal champion who fell to the single target Inferno. But it is Muffin of Penta that starts off this war with a 3-star, putting the pressure on MCES. We have been hyping them up, so I'm sure they can respond. But I am interested as to who will be attacking here. And like we mentioned, exactly what they will use, because they have such depth of strategies in their arsenal. They need to respond with that opening 3-star, and I think this war is going to be a very exciting one to watch.
I think it's very explosive as well. I feel like both teams are going to start off really with a lot of 3-stars, because they tend to have like the really crazy ideas more towards the end. So let's see. I would predict at least one attack with this new Skelly Donut strategy, which is basically putting a skeleton spell in the middle of the base to snipe the clan castle. Even though this sounds kind of strange, because how should a skeleton spell take down an entire clan castle? Well, the trick with this is to make the skeletons invisible without making the clan castle invisible, and then you can take that down. This is a technique which MCS loves to do. They're really, really good at that. I feel like they were one of the first teams doing this. And, well, let's see if Penta defended this, because I feel like it's really, really hard to defend this. And MCS is just so good at it. So I feel like this is at least one of their attacks. Maybe even the first one. Let's see.
They might want to show it off straight away. I do think it was MCES that I personally first seen use it, and it is very difficult, like you said, because the precision of the invisibility spells has to be perfect. But as you mentioned, if they can take out the clan castle, it really just gives them such an advantage moving forward. They do have invisibility spells, they do have skeleton spells, and you are the master predictor today, Itsu. There it is, in the center of the base. Is he going to get it down successfully? There goes the earthquake, beautiful stuff, and down it goes. What an example by Remio.
Yeah, but before every one of you guys is now getting into Clash of Clans and trying this on your own, always remember, practice this first. We had a couple of people trying this in the Claymore League, and let's say it like this, it did not finish great. So practice this, because those pros did practice it, and now we have the heroes getting into their town hall without having to worry about this enemy clan cast and whatever was in there, because we will never find out. This enemy royal champion is trying to defend somehow something, but now the queen, we have her slowly getting into that town compartment. She's going in there. The king is taking down a couple of more storages and buildings on their left side. And then we're going to have the royal champ. Where's the royal champ? No, the royal champ? Where was the royal champ?
I'm not quite sure. I was busy watching the king and queen and the precision that he had, because interestingly, the clan castle could have made things really difficult to get that town hall, depending on what was in there. But Remio made it look so easy, and he literally got every single thing that he wanted. There's the bats, exactly like you said, Itsu, on top of the scatter shot. If you are watching and you are not a Town Hall 13, the scatter shot has an area in the center, almost a dead zone, that it cannot shoot at, much like the mortar, and that is why that technique worked so well. He's now swooping through the base with the balloons, getting to the Eagle artillery with immense precision, and he has a haste for the back-end wizard tower as well. What a fantastic attack here by Remio, and a perfect response.
Yeah, whenever I see the attacks from MCS, I'm like, okay, let's just get into the game, play some Lalo, and then I'm waking up again and noticing that I'm not MCS, because they're making things look so easy, and that's so impressive. This is like, he has 1 minute left, and this was just such an overkill with the Lalo strategy, and he even had bats to it, so just to make it more stylish. So MCS just, well, living up to the prediction of Carbon Fin of being one of the tournament favorites. And this match is, as we said, going to be explosive, because both teams are going to start off with 3 stars, which is huge in this matchup, because you need to have the pressure, or at least never lose the pressure against that enemy team.
And we did not expect anything less from both of these teams. It's more a question of who might slip up rather than who is going to get the 3 stars, because that is the talent amongst both of these teams. So it's back to Penta. They got the initial 3-star. I think they will just be focusing on the offense, because basically once you set your bases, you can't do anything to respond. You just have to let the enemy team attack, and you just have to focus on their attack. So I feel like Penta should really just focus on the offense and almost forget about the attacks from MCES, because they just need to focus on getting the best possible score they can.
Yeah, you're right. You should forget about the MCS attacks as Penta, because it's always like, even as a pro player, it's so cool to watch. And this is not what you're getting into, like getting distracted by the beauty of the attacks of MCS. So let's see if how they can handle this. And let's see who is going to go next, because I'm really looking forward. They have a couple of Super Witch players as well in their team, so maybe we're going to see that. And we already saw a lot of Tesla farms. So what that basically means is putting up a lot of Tesla on the outside, but it feels like Luis is bringing in the Lalo, and this is going to be another blimp with invisible Super Wizards.
Well, Lewis loves the Lalo attack. Any type of Lalo, he said. Sui, Zap Lalo, Blizzard Lalo, anything. We do have the Battle Blimp this time with the invisibility spells, so we will see the Super Wizards zapping away towards the Town Hall. How much value does he get here? Do they move to the Giga Bomb? Oh, he lost a bunch of them there, Itsu. Not what was needed.
Yeah, but this Lava Hound, did you see that Lava Hound flying across, triggering 2 more Black Mines, and then even the Tornado Trap, which was located in front of that Town Hall? There was some really nice value, and now he's trying to start off with his Ice Golem on that right side, trying to lure over that Clan Cast with the Headhunter and the 2 Super Minions. I guess he's going to poison up those Super Minions to make sure they're going down, but no, he's going to go with the poison on the Headhunters. They're just dealing too much damage on those heroes, and that's just way too scary on this one.
Yeah, the Tesla farm that popped over there, or at least a couple of Teslas, means he does have to deploy a couple of loons, make sure that his funnel was absolutely set to send his heroes where he wants. He does have a super wall breaker that he's waiting patiently for, trying to get the Queen a little bit deeper here, get some value, but most importantly as well, you see the natural funnel that would be cut if he can take out the right-hand side of the base here, Itsu, but he is struggling a bit, especially with the super minions, like you said, decided not to poison them, and the Queen goes back on herself.
I have to say, it feels like this was such a baited hero part. Like, MCS knew they would send in a king into that compartment, and that was the reason why we had the Tesla at the top side of that, making the funnel more unpredictable, and having the Tesla on side with the skeleton trap as well, making it really, really tough for Lewis to get any more value, because he wanted to take down the Scatter and the Eagle, but now both of those key defenses are still alive. The Lalo is making it slowly into the base. The first 2 hastes are getting placed. The Warden ability is perfectly used. But is this enough? It feels like there is so much alive with all of those explodes, with the scatters still being up there and still trying to shoot everything which is even coming close. And we have the red mines. Oof, those red mines hurt. And it seems like we have the first defense for MCS.
We certainly do. That most northern scatter really doing work. And it is, given the talent of these teams, a relatively low percentage as well for Penta. MCES, whilst they will be roughly watching, they're probably not paying too much attention to the attack in detail, but they will know that they have got a 2-star here, Penta. So if they get a 3-star again and keep the momentum going, they start to put the pressure on, and that is exactly what you need in this type of situation. An early lead to keep yourself moving forward. A couple of minions trying to get extra percentage. An 80% 2-star is not too bad, but in this type of situation, we talked about it earlier, Itsu, you really need to be trying to get a little bit more than that. Lewis is definitely capable of getting 3 stars again and again, so I don't think he will be too happy with his performance in that one.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but once again, I feel like we have to highlight this insane base building from MCS. Like, obviously, whenever an attack fails, it looks kind of easy to blame it on the attacker. But to be honest, there was not much which Lewis did wrong. It was just really, really clever predictions from MCS, knowing that someone, especially Penta, sometimes like those Lalo attacks, and they would send in their king for the Multi-Inferno Tower and his enemy Royal Champion, which are so important to take down for a Lalo attack. And the Eagle just being next to it, it's the perfect situation, right? You want to funnel the Queen into that. So everything was just in front of them, laid out, and then it was baited. So really great job by MCS and their base building team. And even though this was a fail, still, MCS needs to take an advantage of that. And this one is going to happen with basically the same army. And this one is going to be another Blizzard Lalo.
Sending the Battle Blimp from the other side of the base, freezing the inside as well, getting the sweeper so that the Battle Blimp gets into that most central compartment. Obviously, the Super Wizards attracted to the enemy Queen here, but once she goes down, they can get into the middle of the base. We do have a giant bomb going off, but they survive a little bit longer, getting the multi-target Inferno, which is exactly what Arium wanted. Also lured out the Clan Castle and took down the little troops within that. Just the Lava Hound now, which he can easily deal with.
Yeah, this is already looking so good. This is something which a lot of pros like to use. They're using the Hound as a more powerful Coco Loon in front of their Blimp. and using one of the air defenses as anchor point, basically, to get the blimp into the base. So really nicely done so far, and now he's trying to get into that town compartment. The town hall is such an important building to take down, because this gives you more freedom on the warden ability, and this is exactly what it looks like and what he's trying to go for.
Where does the Royal Champion go here? Itsushi moves across to the mortar. The multi-target Inferno does not go down. The Queen will not be able to reach that from the Town Hall compartment, so maybe he will send in a couple of loons to that. Let's find out what he does. He does get the Town Hall. He's taken out a bunch of the base, but he does have to be conscious about that multi-target Inferno now.
Yeah, the multi-inferno tower is so scary for those loons. It's dealing so much damage. So let's see what exactly the next step is going to be. The Lalo just got started from the top side. The Queen is doing some more work, but now we have the Queen dying and the Lalo already starting from that right side with the Warden together. And now we have the group of loons getting into that core. The Eagle is still up, and that Scatter, that is shooting non-stop.
Takes down a couple of loons. I feel like Erium is just going with his original plan, hoping to maybe get to that multi-target Inferno at the end, but even if he misses it, he probably gets more percentage from just going around the base as he was going to. Warden ability goes off. 2 wizard towers looming here, and he's got nothing to freeze them. Maybe we'll see a red air bomb there as well. Balloons now low in health, so it is a pretty good defense here from Penta, pretty much leveling things up, actually, Itsu, on percentage. And what are we going to finish up with here? Maybe 85, 86%? Tough one to call here. Both teams missing the 3-star in their final attack, so it's pretty much still neck and neck.
Yeah, but having like the percentage lead right now for MCS is huge, because let's say both of those teams have 100% the chance of going perfect with those last remaining attacks. We would have a percentage lead for MCS. So having this percentage lead going into the last couple of attacks is key, especially like from the mindset. So this being said, it is good looking for MCS, but obviously how close it is, it's far from being anywhere to over, because both of those teams are just getting warmed up.
Or you would certainly prefer to be in MCES's position. They are in the lead with the percentage, but Penta must be pretty happy with that, knowing the momentum that MCES had moving into the war. Getting a defense is critical, especially when they are still level on stars now. They have a stacked roster themselves. They know that they can come back here and just continue to put 3 stars on the board. So it's going to be an interesting second half of the war. I always feel like with 3 attacks to go, you still got a little bit of wiggle room, but once you start getting to 2 attacks left, that's when you really need to start putting in the performances. You mentioned the P.E.K.K.A. smash a little bit earlier, Itsu, and we are seeing it for the first time today.
Yeah, actually there are so many different P.E.K.K.A. smash strategies, Yeti smash strategies out there, that this specific version of P.E.K.K.A. smash is most of the time called just Chinese smash. The reason for that is that most of the successful Legend League players are coming from the Chinese community, and they're using this exact strategy. And slowly it kind of like came over to the competitive community, and just to give the Chinese community the props they deserved for creating this insane attack strategy, it's just called Chinese Smash. So let's see if the strategy is going to work for Zakia from Penta, because he's starting off with a blimp, luring out the clan caster, and he's trying to take down this Inferno Tower as well with a really late raid late, to be honest.
Yeah, he did get the single target Inferno. Maybe he just felt like he wasn't quite going to get it, so bailed out and decided to use the Rage spell, because with an Archer Queen walk from this area of the base, he is going to need that single target Inferno. Otherwise, you're going to have to commit freeze spells or maybe even the Queen ability to that anyways. Notice the funneling to the top area of the base. You can just about see a couple of troops being deployed. Now the Barbarian King with the Witches, and that forms the perfect funnel for the P.E.K.K.A. to move right on into the base and do what they do best, Itsu.
Yeah, now we have the key moment of this attack. We have the healers switching to the P.E.K.K.A. Now everything what is going to happen is the P.E.K.K.A. are going to stack on top of each other, and those healers rage up. You will see those P.E.K.K.A. won't lose hit points. They're just basically invincible at this point with the rage healers, and all of the P.E.K.K.A. staying on top of each other. And this is just so crazy. This is just the reason why this strategy is so strong in every single competition you look like. And even though the Super Wizards had a rough time against the double scatter shots. Those Packer are still alive and tanking perfectly for that Queen, the King on the outside, but the multi-inferno tower on the back end, that is going to be a problem for those witches because they have no chance to get through that. And now it's all about the Royal Champion and where and when he's going to place her.
I was just about to say the Royal Champion is going to be key here. I feel like 3 o'clock to get that multi is probably the better play, but it's very difficult either way here. He does send it in from 3 o'clock, and the Royal Champion can clean up those buildings, merge with the Queen, but he's still got a lot of base. That Tesla farm is tough towards the back end of the base, and he has to use the Royal Champion ability and the freeze spell with precision deployment here, Itsu.
I love how those barbarians are tanking for the Queen. This looks... Okay, never mind. I should have not said that. But the Queen is going down. But at least the Archer Tower is still tanked. Now the Royal Champion ability to take some more buildings down. But I think this freeze tower is out of reach. Maybe with an insane freeze. But let's see where exactly he's going to use that. Onto the Warden, onto the cannon. So a good choice on that one. But he's most not able to hit everything. So those back-end Tesla will... Yeah. Will let Zakia get the 3-star on this one. So really good defense once again. I feel like those two teams right now are outsmarting each other with their base building. So really good job. But this one is going to be a 90%. So let's see if MCS can somehow get an advantage now where Penta had failed to get the next 3-star.
Yeah, we see fantastic trap placement by both of these teams. And knowing that they had such a fierce opponent in the first round, we were discussing off stream a little bit, Itsu. Do people prefer to use their bases in the first round, their best bases, or do you save them for a tougher opponent? And I think most teams would probably just use their best bases right away, because especially in a best of one, you need to win that match to even face the best opponent, or the tougher opponents, if you will, further on in the bracket. So that is where we are seeing such fantastic base building.
That's right, and now we have Sinti, one of the most creative players right now in Clash of Clans. So let's see if he can, smash this base. And so far he's doing a great job of completely taking down this right side compartment with those lightnings. He has one lightning left. Now if you guys might ask, what is this lightning for? It is for the headhunters, which are coming out right now. So he's using that lightning, making sure it's going down, and oh no, the blimp is opening on the outside of the wall. What? No way. That town hall had to go down, and it's not going down for Sinti.
Oh, he needed, especially with the sneaky goblins, he just needed it the other side of the wall to have any chance. Look at the traps in that area. Exactly what we are saying about base building anyways, Itsu. Even if the blimp went off the other side, he probably would have missed that either way. Now he has to adapt. I think it's really fun to see Sinthe doing different styles of attack. We know him as the master mass hog rider attacker, smashing bases with that, flipping it on its head and using the lava loon. But his Archer Queen moving on to the inside of the base does him a bit of a favor here getting the Town Hall, but he does have to use the ability a little bit early.
Yeah, yes, he used the ability early, and the Queen is going to go down eventually. Now the question is this still enough to get some of the 3-star in? We have the King working on that Archer Tower, going to go in on that Bomb Tower. But take a look at the Bomb Tower location. Like, the Queen is going to step on top of the Bomb Tower. He has used the King ability, but as soon as the Queen is going down, the Bomb Tower is going to explode and take every single Barbarian out of their way, which means the Multi-Inferno Tower is going to survive, at least versus the King. Now there's so many expos, and the Royal Champion has no chance whatsoever.
Those little differences make everything so different, really. The Bomb Tower taking out the Barbarians completely changed what happened there and what would have happened if it wasn't in that area. You see the lava loon now getting deployed very quickly from the north of the base, but I feel Sinthe just has too much left with both Inferno Towers down to the bottom of the base. Grand Warden's ability already used. He's only got one haste spell left. He's just pushing anything and everything he can into the center of the base to try and get the percentage, clear the defenses, but it's little too late for Sinthe, unfortunately, Itsu.
Yeah, but to be honest, with this Hound in front, he can still take down some more buildings, which is key, because so far at the moment, it's all about the percentage for those two teams, because they're still tied up, right? Like, they're still completely tied up when it comes down to stars. So the percent is the important thing, and Penta just had a 90% at 2-star attack, so this one is all about the back end, and maybe, just maybe, he's even taking down every single defense, because this Warden is tanking perfectly.
Imagine if that haste was a little bit further towards
Wait a
where the
second,
balloons are moving.
enough?
They could have swarmed across to the Inferno. He's certainly going to be close here. The elixir storage will be the final thing. The clan castle didn't go down either, but really came down to the wire. I was calling it a defense way too early because Synthé finishing off with 98% moves the percentage even more in the favor of MCES. But it's very easy for Penta to get a 3-star and take the lead.
Yeah, we had many matches. Yeah, easy for those players, right? Like, not all of us, but still, we had a lot of matches like this recently where all of the time the stars were kind of tight in the matchup, especially in the community leagues. And then, surprising, in the end, we had one good attack, which turned everything around. So I feel like it's still either's game. Both can still win this matchup because it's still tied up on stars. And at the end of the day, the stars are more important than the percentage. This is really important to note. So yeah, let's see. Let's see if MCS can somehow push their lead further, which they have right now, or if Penta can somehow come back.
It is the Super Witches that we will be seeing here. That's a very great point that you make, though, because MCES might be pushing the percentage as you see to the right of your screen, but Penta, as long as they get the stars, that is the main thing. The lightning spells onto the inside of the base to get that multi-target Inferno, again creating an easy funnel for the Super Witches with the Grand Warden to the left-hand side. It means we will see the Super Witches direct to the Town Hall, and we talked about this before, Itsu, but he won't have to use the Warden ability for the Giga Bomb. He can save it for the center of the base, where you see the scatter shots, that multi-target Inferno, and a lot more damage, arguably.
The first Kokodoon already catching a Black Mine, so this entry definitely has been seen by MCS, and they're trying to defend it with those Black Mines. So let's see, another Black Mine getting hit by, like, another Black Mine hitting the healer and the Loon. Take a look, so perfectly done with those Loons, making sure that he's taking out everything. But one healer, that's only one healer which he lost so far. Warden ability maybe for the bomb, for the Super Wall Breaker, and now it's going into the core. It's going into those enemy super minions and the King and the Siege Barracks on the left side, with probably some Hawk Riders in there to help the Royal Champion to push through.
Yeah, and I like what he's got going here because he's got a little bit of an army to the left-hand side with the King and the P.E.K.K.A.s, like you said. Probably we'll see Hog Riders. Oh, it's actually Valkyries coming out of there to finish things off. Not sure what's going to happen with that multi-target Inferno as everything moves up towards the top of the base. But he does have the Royal Champion now to support in that area. How much can he force into the different compartments here, though? Where do the Super Witches go? I'm interested to see if they split or if they all just move up to the north.
And I feel like every single Black Mine was located in the beginning of the base, and he triggered most of them with those Loons, and this is what happens if you do this. Super Witches just cannot die anymore in this army composition. You can see it right now. The Royal Champion is dancing around the Super Witches on that outside without taking any damage because the Super Witches and their skeletons are tanking everything. The Queen ability had to be used. The Royal Champion ability is still not used just yet, and we have the Super Witches taking this jump once again and getting into the back end, and this is looking like a crushing 3-star. And with this, Penta might push ahead in the percentage game and obviously in the star game versus MCS, and they now need to triple to somehow still have the tie going.
Such a vital attack, that one. GK Tim told us that if you want to improve yourself at home, Legends League and lots of friendly challenge is the best thing that he could recommend. And he proved it right there, getting the 3-star exactly when they needed it. So like you said, Itsu, we now have Penta slightly in the lead. I don't think MCES are too worried because they could flip this back around. If they were to get a 3-star, they would take the percentage lead back, but being a star behind with the remaining attacks tied up, they've got to start getting the 3 stars. Otherwise, Penta have nicked this.
That's true. It's only a couple of attacks left in this match, and this is now getting really into the, well, zone where a lot of people as well have like a couple of problems to concentrate and maybe like questioning their self, especially right now with so many plans of MCS, which were looking good, somehow still failed. So let's hope they keep their head cool and make sure they get into the next attack with having an awesome plan. I really expect and hope for something really creative, like bats, invisible skeleton spirits, something. Surprise me, please. Looking forward to that. Like, if there's one team which you can always surprise you, it is MCS for sure. So really looking forward to that next attack, and obviously hoping for a 3-star to have everything tied up again.
Yeah, and the one thing I am really looking forward to is the attacks towards the end of the war tend to be the bases that are a little bit harder to plan on. And we've already seen such incredible base building that I'm really interested to see how the end of this one plays out. It is going to be a Queen charge hybrid that we've already seen with the Battle Blimp moving in towards the Eagle Artillery, going to be able to get that. And the enemy Queen doesn't quite get the full Clan Castle pull. I don't think Itsu, no, he didn't get everything pulled there, so let's see what happens as he charges in towards that area.
But this entry still looks so good, especially that he took down the enemy Warden. Like, the Warden is such a nightmare to face when doing a Queen charge, because the Warden is just dealing so much damage, and it's one of the defenses which could actually one-shot your Queen through her ability, which is kinda like a rough point, because most of the people nowadays rely on that auto Queen ability. So let's see if he can, well, get an advantage due to the fact that the enemy Warden is already down. The Clan Castle is coming out, there are Headhunters in there, he's freezing them up, poisoning the super minions. That's exactly how he should deal with those, and he's starting off with the King early to final off the hybrid, because the hybrid is meant to be used into that Town Hall.
Absolutely, and I just want to highlight that point that you just said, the poison and the freeze for that Clan Castle combination, because I am sure many people at home will see that. So poison the headhunters, freeze the super minions, that's perfectly how you take that down. Like you mentioned, Itsu, the hybrid moves in towards the Town Hall, he wants the Queen to turn towards the scatter shot, she does. That will help with the funneling of the hybrid around the base, still has to heal the freeze and the abilities, so this looks pretty good for Kingsman.
That's right. The next thing which he has to do is perfectly time this Headhunter. This Headhunter needs to be in the base with the hybrid as soon as he's engaging this enemy King. Like I said, enemy heroes are a really big threat to the hybrid, because otherwise, well, they can burst through a heal easily. He is giving himself a little bit more time with freezing up the enemy King, freezing up the scatter, so it was really nicely done. And as soon as the freeze runs out, the Headhunter is there, and this is what I'm talking about. The Headhunter timing is such an important thing. The Headhunter is such an important troop in that game right now, because the heroes are getting so strong on offense and defense, and there's 50 seconds left with the Queen ability still not used. Judo, this is looking really, really good for Kingsman.
It certainly does, and this is exactly what MCES needed. Like I said, now getting the 3-star means they take the percentage back, and then the attacks are tied up, which means the pressure is back on Penta. MCES doing exactly what they needed, getting the 3-star after Penta did, and because they have been able to bring the percentage higher up earlier on in the war, they take the lead again, and we are neck and neck moving into the last attacks.
This is so impressive to me, keeping their head cool, making sure not showing any nerves whatsoever. This was such a good attack, and the blimp did get so much value. So perfectly handled the Clan Castle, then the hybrid through the backhand. This is how hybrid should be played. This is how clean hybrid looks like.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, you break down the hybrid quite a bit on your YouTube channel because it used to be one of your favorite strategies, and you always tell people that the Queen is more about pathing for the hybrid, and I feel that is what the Battle Blimp provided a lot in that situation, was the Queen to get directly towards the core, and that left the hybrid the L shape around the north of the base that it was just able to swoop through with precision.
Yeah, exactly. This is a mistake which I see actually a ton of times with Queen Charge hybrid players. They're trying to go for the Town Hall scatter and many more things, but that's not always the thing which they're going for. And now we have the next Super Witch attack, because Super Witches right now, they're so strong, especially as well, for example, on Town Hall 12 and on other Town Hall levels. They're a really, really strong troop to attack with. And the combination with the Warden Walk is making this technique even stronger. The only thing which you have to be careful is a Tesla farm. If you're placing your Warden into a Tesla farm, this is bad news for your Warden, because he won't have a ton of fun.
Looks like he's avoiding that at the moment, and with only 30 seconds gone, the Super Witches are in. We can now see the healers switching across to the Super Witches. It is a quick start, but is he going to send the Royal Champion into that 3 o'clock area with the multi-target Inferno? Not sure how he's taking that down, Itsu.
I guess the Royal Champion, but one interesting thing which we haven't even talked about is, because I'm just seeing it, he is bringing bats. This is not like a lightning super witch attack or anything like that. He is bringing bats to the party to make sure that he's giving like a nice finish to the back end. Limp is making to the town hall, so there needs to be some sneaky goblins in there to take that down. And I feel like on the right side, there's already the Royal Champion working on that multi-inferno tower. And now the bottom side can be taken down from those bats. Let's see where and when exactly he's going to start with them, because Judo, so far, this is looking really, really good.
It does, and he has a minute and a half left. I feel like that's why he waited on the bats. Notice the deployment right of the way off the screen. What that does is allows the bats to gain a lot of them, because it's all about DPS, so they can hit the splash damage, take it down. Notice the Wizard Tower went down with only one freeze. Getting the Tesla farm, that can be difficult for your bats as well, and he has a ton of troops on the multi. That goes down as well, Itsu. This looks fantastic for Penta with a minute on the board. The Queen's ability, bats flying round. It will be a 3-star. It keeps the pressure on MCES, and it means if they 3-star, they will overtake Penta on percentage. But if they don't, Penta have meant that they will win it. Exactly what they needed. Epi finishing this off with the super witches, bats, everything. We talk about creativity. He pulled it in at the exact time, and now it's MCES needing the 3-star for the victory. Penta have done all that they can at this stage.
This match is perfect for us because every single attack counts, right? So the last attack, everything is coming down to this. If MCS is going to triple, they're going to move forward. If they're going to not triple, they're dropping out as one of the tournament favorites right in the first round. And this will be a huge surprise, obviously, to most of us. But let's see. It's like the insane pressure, which is now the last attacker for MCS. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, I would not like to be in that position either, but we have seen it happen time and time again where the 3-star is required for the final attack and they get it done. This level of competition, the pro scene, you know yourself, Itsu, that you have to be able to deal with pressure. It doesn't matter whether you attack first or last, the pressure is on. So you have to be able to deal with that. MCES have been through the works, vice world champions in 2019. They know how to deal with it, and I believe it's Tryhard that is left on the board, is it, Itsu? I think, well, so we've seen him do it either way, haven't we? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've seen him clutch it, and we've seen him unfortunately not. So really exciting to see how this one turns out.
This is making things even more interesting. So let's see this army. He is going in with the Lightning Lalo, one of the favorite attack strategies for most of the pros out there. So let's see what he's going to go for with that Lightning. Most of the time, saving Lightnings are telling me either for a scatter or for the queen, one of those two options, and he's going for that queen, making sure that he's getting her down nice and early, because 7 lightnings are taking down a queen right away, and he's taking the scatter in addition to that. Now we have the Royal Champion, and this Royal Champ is now supposed to take down some defenses around that town hall to make sure the king and the queen knowing where they should go.
So many troops getting deployed at this moment. We have the RC down to the bottom, the baby dragon funneling, the super wall breaker to allow the heroes in. Tryhard is doing exactly what he needs to do, keep his cool. His favorite strategy is the lava loon, the queen charge lava loon, so a different variant, but he is comfortable with this attack strategy. He's been in this position many times before, and I have to say, I think this is a glorious start for him.
Yeah, this looks really, really good. How he handled the clan castle perfectly. The Valkyrie now in as well, just to make sure if there are any skeleton traps coming up, the Valkyrie is going to handle those. But there are no skeleton traps, so the Valkyrie is just here to help those heroes to take down the town hall. The Wizard Tower is going to go down as well. And now it's all about this Lalo. Starting off from the 6 o'clock side, right into that Eagle. And then we're going to see the Warden ability in combination with those Headhunters for the enemy Royal Champion, which is the last hero left standing. And if that one is going to go down, that would be huge for Tryhard.
Certainly would. As the balloons move into the base, he starts to pick up the momentum now, using that Grand Warden's ability. The haste spells getting deployed, and you notice how quick the percentage is climbing as the balloons are moving through the center, taking out the key defenses. That Scottish shot is next on the hit list. It will go down. Look at the Ice Hound towards the back of the base, freezing everything up, and there is not a lot left with the Stone Slammer not even popped. We knew the talent of Tryhard. He is going to get this one done. Will he pop the Stone Slammer in order to help with cleanup, or will he leave it a mystery for us as to what was inside? I don't think it matters. It is the 3 stars. It will be the victory for MCES. Exactly what they needed. We knew this war was going to be epic. It certainly was. It was everything we could have hoped for, but there you are. Tryhard pulls in the 3 stars and gains the victory for MCES.
They had to triple, Tryhard had to triple, and he delivered. Perfect attack to give MCS this win in one of the biggest matchups in our first matches. So congrats to MCS moving into the second round.